All right, guys, today we've got a product review for some mustache wax and beard oil from Can You Handlebar, so stay tuned. Hey guys, Brian Haywood here. Welcome back to my Beards and Banjos YouTube channel where we discuss tips and tricks for your beards. We do some product reviews like we're doing today. We also have a special beard advice series where you guys can send me some pictures to the email address below, a little description about what kind of advice you're seeking. I take a look at that for a little bit of time, a couple of weeks usually, and then you get featured in your own beard advice series video. So check that out. If you haven't, we're having a great time with that. And then today we are doing a product review for Can You Handlebar. So we're just finished up, well, actually I got one more day on our Epic Mustache Challenge where I grew this thing out for 8 weeks. I'm ready to trim it. It's becoming a real issue, having to dress it during the day. So a little maintenance trim is coming, guys, but don't freak out. I'm gonna keep the big mustache. I'm enjoying the look of it. Also enjoying trying out some of these different waxes. Got some companies I'm working with that are kind of coming up with their own mustache waxes and those kind of things. So I'm enjoying all of that. So I'm going to keep it going because not every reviewer does a lot of mustache wax stuff. So at least I can hopefully provide some information for you guys about that. So Can You Handlebar has actually been around. They started making mustache waxes in 2012. It's a long time. So that's kind of what they were known for to start with. And it's kind of interesting. There's like two totally different markets. You've got the mustache wax companies, and that's kind of what they feature. Can You Handlebar was one of them. There's some other ones like, I won't go into all of those, but there's some that just makes the mustache wax. Okay, and then there's a lot of companies that just make, and these are more current companies, usually make just the beard oil, beard balm, beard butter, that kind of stuff. And sometimes there's not a lot of go-between. But they've also added, Can You Handlebar's added in the beard oils, kind of a light beard balm that I'll talk about coming up. Actually these waxes, especially the primary, there's two kinds. It's kind of a medium hold and a strong hold. This has actually been my favorite one that I've kind of settled on over all that I've tried over the past 8 weeks with this mustache. The last little update I didn't have this one to try. So now I do. This one is the primary. It is just strong enough. Well, it's medium, but it's just pliable enough that I can put it on without having to heat it up with the hair dryer and all that stuff. So if I carry this around in my pocket after lunch or something, I could scrape off a little bit, put it in my fingertips, and actually get it in my mustache. All right, the secondary is one that you pretty much have to use with the hair dryer, where you've got, all your combs and everything that you need, all your tools when you put this in, unless you've got something to keep it pretty warm, because it is pretty stiff. I'm still kind of experimenting with this one. I think I contacted one of the owners there, on whoever's got in charge of the Instagram account, and they're like, hey, you play the banjo, that's cool, and that kind of stuff. So we kind of talked back and forth, and he ended up sending me the contact information for the marketing guy, and this is what they sent out. So it's what I asked to try, was the primary wax and the animated, which is the coffee scent, the beard oil. So I like this one so much that I went on Amazon. They also sell on Amazon, which is good if you've got Prime and gift cards and that kind of stuff, as I added in the secondary wax. I'm still experimenting around with that one, but the primary wax I definitely like. It's an everyday carry. I've only had it for a couple weeks. You can see I've already used quite a bit of it. So I highly recommend that. I also like the smell. A lot of times you get the mustache wax and it'll smell really waxy, and it'll smell like a candle wax. It's kind of that fake plasticky imitation kind of smell. This one smells just like a honeycomb. And I asked about that, and it's like, yeah, it's just the natural ingredients. We don't add anything to it. So it's not a refined beeswax where they take all the scent out of it. This is more the natural beeswax. It smells great. It's probably the best smelling one that I've actually got. So I thought that was kind of interesting. You do notice it's pretty dark because it's kind of a natural beeswax. So if you have a really, really white mustache, you want to make sure that you at least kind of really spread that through, or you might have a little bit of a stain there, a little darker spot. And I wouldn't normally make a big deal out of it, but since mustache wax, sometimes it does kind of get caked together, especially at the bottom of your mustache. So if you've got a really white mustache, that might be a consideration for you. Not for me yet. This part's white, this part's not quite white yet. All right, so I really highly recommend the mustache wax, especially the primary if you're going for the more natural look. If you want to get the really super sharp tips and kind of a more manicured look, you could try playing around with the secondary mustache as well. All right, so they've added in beard oil and beard balm. They actually call that dry oil, I think that's what they call it, and they've actually got a brush that you put that in. I didn't get any of that, but their balm is a little goopy. It's not very firm. So if anything, I would suggest in the future for maybe in your lineup is having a stronger balm, a medium to high hold balm. If you already know how to make a great wax, you could even call it a beard wax if you wish. So less hold than this, obviously, but you could play around with getting some of your scents into a stronger holding beard balm / beard wax. I think would be a great addition. But they've got, let me see how many different scents they've got here for the oil. I believe it's 1, 2, 4, 6, 7 scents, one of them being unscented. So this one is their coffee scent. It's called Animated. They've got one that's a clean mint, spice citrus, woodsy, fresh cut spruce and lemon, and citrus and lavender. And then the other one is grounded, earthy, and floral scents. So they've all got names like joy, devotion, initiative, wisdom. This one's called Animated, and I will tell you right now, it's one of my favorite coffee scents because I kept wanting my coffee scent to smell like coffee beans, right? Not Starbucks over roasted burnt coffee beans, just coffee beans. So this one is kind of talked about being as black coffee, and that's exactly what it smells like. And it's a nice blend. It's not too strong. It smells just like coffee. Okay, which is what I wanted. So once again, be looking for another video in the future where I do my coffee scent showdown or some other kind of scent showdowns. That's going to be in the works maybe over the summer when I've got a little more time. But for this particular one, you put it in, it smells nice, but it doesn't really last super long. And one of the reasons might be because I don't have another balm to go on top of it. I always use beard balm to try to hold down some of this stuff. So I'll use some other scent that I've got for beard balm, and that usually kind of overpowers this. So for me, this lasts maybe 30 minutes to 2 hours, kind of depends on the scenario. If I were to just put this on and not put on anything else on top of it, I could probably smell it a little longer. If I got their balm and put over top of it, this the same scent, I'm sure it would last longer. But I really don't mind it in this particular case because it's kind of like coffee. You want your morning coffee, you want to get that, and then it kind of goes away and you go on about your day. So if you're one that doesn't like the scents to linger a really long time, to be super strong, it smells nice and strong when it comes out of the bottle. When you put it on, invigorating, smells like coffee, and then you go on about your day, and I think it kind of drifts away after that. So if you're looking for a long-lasting scent, this one might not be it. If you want a nice, even black coffee bean kind of scent to kind of hit you in the morning and then to go away, and you can, wear other things, wear cologne or something with that if you wanted to. There shouldn't be any trouble. So I would suggest that. By the way, this one is pretty thick. And because this one is the coffee scent, your essential coffee oils, or if it's coffee infused or whatever, it's pretty dark. I don't know if you can see that, but it's pretty dark colored. Okay, so it's kind of a yellow brownish tinge to it, but it's not usually a big deal. In fact, it's no big deal, but I wanted to let you know. I think that's because the coffee's infused in it. I do want to read you the ingredients for the oil. The ingredients aren't listed on the bottle. And it's like there's plenty of room to put them on there, so maybe you could add that if you sometime in the future. It is written on the mustache wax around here. If you've got 20/10 vision, you can read it. But the beard oil, these ingredients I thought was interesting. The first one is olive oil. That's not usually one of your run of the mill ingredients for the oils. Grapeseed oil, rice bran oil, fragrance oils, essential oils, jojoba seed, vitamin E, and meadow foam seed oil. So a couple of those were a little bit unique, so I wanted to read that. By the way, this is pretty thick. If you like the thicker oils or you just like using oil and not balm, this would probably do well for you. It's probably about a 3.5 out of 5, with 5 being the strongest. So it's a nice thick oil. Okay, so overall, I like the products. I really love the primary Mustache wax. Great coffee scent, just doesn't last a very long time. And then the secondary one, I'm still kind of playing around with it to see if it works. I got to do a little trim on this thing and see where we go from there. But it's going to stay big. I'm going to keep using the Mustache wax. All right, so you guys check out Can You Handlebar, and we'll see you next time. Thanks.